Course 3, Lesson 42, we are looking at volume. So being able to use different volume formulas to find the volume of certain prisms. So if we want the volume of a rectangular prism, remember that's like filling something up. We are figuring out how much fills up a certain space. And when we think of rectangular prisms, most often we think of the formula for volume of doing length times width times height. Now today, though, in this video, we're going to look at a different formula for volume that will not only work for rectangular prisms, but work for a lot more. And if we do volume being the area of the base, so big B, area of the base times the height, we will also find the volume of our prism. Okay, so two different formulas for rectangular prism, but one of them being a little bit more useful when we go to other prisms. So if we look at this problem, to calculate the heating and cooling requirements for a room, one factor architects consider is the room's volume, making sure that they have enough heat for the entire space. A classroom that is 30 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 10 feet high contains how many cubic feet? So let's do it both ways. And we will see if we do our volume being length times width times height, we are going to say 30 times 30 times 10. Which would mean we can simplify 30 times 30 is 900 times 10 is 9,000 square feet. Now we could do it our second way. Volume is the area of the base times the height. And if we look at this, we have this, we can kind of see this imaginary bottom here. That is 30 by 30. So we're going to say the area of the base is 30 times 30. And then we're going to multiply by our height of 10, which would mean we're really multiplying by the same things here. We're going to get 9,000 feet cubed. Now we are in feet cubed, remember, because we are talking about volume, and we are multiplying three things together that have units. Feet times feet times feet is feet cubed. So you can see that both of these formulas work. Now let's find a couple of these. And in these rectangular prisms, I'll do a few of each, but let's say we do our length times width times height. We're going to do 6.5 times 6 times 5. Well, that 6 times 5 is 30, and times 6.5 is going to be 195 yards cubed. Now we could also do our area of the base times the height by doing on the second one, the area of the base would be 12 times 11, and then we're going to multiply it by a height of 10, which would mean that we get a volume of 1,320 centimeters cubed. All right, so this is how we're finding the volume of things. Especially with rectangular prisms, we are going to do the length times the width times the height. And probably in the past you've heard it saying, well, if we do kind of like on this base one, if we do this base and have a ton of those bases stacked on top of each other that will fill in this space, that's really our goal here. And so the volume formula says area of the base times height is actually pretty intuitive. We're stacking all of those bases on top of each other to reach a height of 10 centimeters. Okay, how about this one? What if we have a cube that has side lengths of s? Well, in our formula, length times width times height, I could replace those with s times s times s, which would mean that really our volume formula for a cube is just s cubed. We just need to do the side length times the side length times the side length. So we just get s cubed. Let's try it on a couple things. Now remember that s cubed does not mean s times 3, because s cubed, it means you times the number by itself 3 times rather than 3 times s. So in this case with this cube we do 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64, instead of s times 3, which would only give us 12. So remember, we're cubing something rather than multiplying by 3. So in these cubes, We have a cube that is 2 by 2 by 2, meaning that the volume would be 2 cubed, or 8 yards cubed. 3.5 times 3.5 times 3.5 will give us 42.875 centimeters cubed. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125 meters cubed. 14 cubed is going to be 2,744 inches cubed. We just take our side length and times it by itself 3 times. Okay, we're just going to do a couple more examples on this one. A sculptor carved a 2-foot cube of ice into a swan. At 57 pounds per cubic foot, what did the 2-foot cube weigh before it was carved? Okay, so we have this 2-foot cube of ice. Let's draw it. And they're going to take this and carve it into a swan. But I'm curious how heavy it is before we even get there. Well, what we're saying is this cube has side lengths of 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. So the volume of this thing is what we're looking for, because we know that 1 cubic foot, so 1 foot cubed, is the same as 57 pounds. So I need to know what is the volume of this thing so I can multiply it by 57 to get how much it weighs. So I'm going to find the volume by doing s cubed. So I do 2 cubed, giving me 8 cubic feet. So if 1 cubic feet is 57 pounds, how much is 8? Well, I need to do 57 times 8. 7 times 8 is 56, 45. So this cube is going to weigh 456 pounds. Okay, so a little bit of converting measures there. And let's see, I think this might be our last one. Yep, our last one. Many buildings are shaped like combinations of solids. So find the volume of the building with this shape. All angles are right angles. Well, we could cut this up into a couple pieces and find the volume of the small piece and the big piece. That will definitely work. I want to practice, though, this volume formula, that is the area of the base times the height. So if I want to find the area of the base, let's find the area of this solid. Okay, and we know it's 12 by 12. This is just the shape of the base. By 15, this is 20. Now this side up at the top is going to be a combination of 12 plus 15, which is 27. And this whole length of side is, let's see, we have 12 and 20, so 32. Okay, and to find the area, I'm going to cut it up into a couple pieces so that I have 12 times 12 is 144. And I have 27 times 20, which is 540. And I add those together to get 684 feet squared is the area of my base. So I plug that into my formula and say 684 times my height, which means 684 times 10. So our volume is 6,840 feet cubed. And that's it. Well, I hope this is helpful for your homework and for studying.